Nowadays, we're definitely at a point where game graphics, there's no way they can improve any further than this. Like, just look back at previous console generations. Like, just look at the jumps from Final Fantasy 9 on the PlayStation 1 to Final Fantasy 10 on the PlayStation 2. Or Mario 64 to Mario Sunshine. Hell, even if you look at the jump in graphics within the console generation, like let's say the PlayStation 3 for example. Look at Uncharted 1's graphics compared to Uncharted 3's. It's a big difference. And I'm not saying there's no difference in graphics between the 8th generation and 9th generation. You can most definitely see a difference in graphics, but at the same time, it's not like this big leap. Especially since a lot of 8th generation games still look great to this day. A game like Uncharted 4 that came out 10 years ago still looks beautiful to this day. That game could come out today and it will look brand new. I mean, like, compare some games like, let's say, I don't know, Breath of the Wild to Tears of the Kingdom, or Ghost of Tsushima to Yote. Like, there is a difference in graphics, but it's not big enough to the point where it's like, oh, this is a big jump. Hell, even if you look at the Unreal Engine 5 tech demo, that tech demo looked insane, especially when they first showed it 5 years ago. Matter of fact, speaking of Unreal Engine 5, as good of an engine it is when it comes to making graphics look great, I don't know what's up with developers, but they cannot seem to optimize their game correctly with Unreal Engine 5. Maybe I'm ignorant, but I don't know. I feel like every time a game uses Unreal Engine 5 for its engine, it just doesn't end well optimization wise. Either that or the game needs some ridiculous specs in order for it to run. For example, why the fuck does Borderlands 4 need these system requirements in order to run the game, especially the 32 gigs of RAM? Why do you need this? Most people have 16 gigs of RAM. So why not optimize the game in order for it to recommend it to be 16 gigs instead of 32 so more people can play it? And for what I heard on PC, the game runs, but it runs like booty cheeks in terms of the frame. The game runs like booty cheeks at points, especially at launch on the PC version. On console, it was a little better, but it wasn't that much better. Every now and then, you actually get a game that's optimized in the engine like Expedition 33 or, I don't know, fucking Fortnite. But at the same time, sometimes it's not even the developer's fault, it's the engine itself that's pretty ass when it comes to optimization. And it's kind of crazy how they had the nerve to talk about some Unreal Engine 6, but that's a whole nother conversation. Also, I think another reason game graphics haven't improved that much is because there's been a whole lot of cross-gen games this generation. I mean, usually there is in the beginning, like maybe 1 or 2 years in, but there's been cross-gen games for like a good 4 or 5 years after the console come out. Hell, there's still cross-gen games now if you look hard enough. Like, take a look at God of War 2018 to God of War Ragnarok. The graphics are definitely better, but not much better. You can tell they had to hold back the graphics a bit in order for it to run on PS4, which, as you probably heard before, sounds like a fucking jet engine at points, but that's besides the point. Same thing with the Call of Duty games. They just now moved on from PS4 and Xbox One with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. Now, would I say the graphics improved that much? I mean, it's Call of Duty, not really. But you see how late into the generation they did that? Even if a game was solely made for the current gen consoles, they still had to keep in mind that it has to run on the PS4 and Xbox One. Hell, even the Series S. I'll even put the Series S in that category. The Series S was just a weaker Series X. Hell, significantly weaker actually, to the point where some games gotta be running at 720p. Or sometimes resolutions I've never even heard of. Again, I'm not saying there's no improvements in this generation in terms of graphics, but it also gets to the point where in terms of graphics, we're just improving the most minimal shit of all time. Like, oh, you can use NVIDIA RTX to improve the hair follicles on a nigga head. Or if you zoom in, you can see all the pores in some... If anything, I feel like art style and art direction is more important nowadays. Since the graphics aren't really improving too much nowadays, I feel like you have to make your game a lot more distinct with its art. Like Death Stranding 2, for example. This is actually an example of a game where, although it's not the biggest jump, you can definitely tell the difference in the graphics. However, the art direction complements the game super well and still gives it that distinct look that you can't really find anywhere else. My main point is, even though graphics have definitely improved, it's not as big of an improvement as previous generations where it was just a night and day difference. Many issues such as Unreal Engine 5 or especially cross-gen titles definitely is a factor to this, which is why I feel like art style and art direction nowadays should definitely take more priority as opposed to just adding more grass on the ground or something. Regardless though, games will keep improving in terms of graphics. I mean, just look at GTA 6. Say what you want, but the graphics so far do seem pretty clean, even though there's no gameplay yet. What was that? Matter of fact, if you want to see more of my opinion on this console generation, click on the video on screen right here, or if you want to watch more, click on the playlist on screen right here too.